What's going on, everybody? My name is Ziggy, and today I thought it'd be interesting to dive into some expanded content for the Pokemon trading card game. Always really been in love with this game, and today I'm bringing an interesting deck. It is based around Ho-Oh EX. Always been a really big proponent of this card, especially when like Puka was playing it back in the day. Winning all sorts of regional championships and everything with it. It's just such a crazy deck, such a rogue situation. But regardless, I always took inspiration from it. Really like this deck, and this will be my take of the deck in expanded. So let's go ahead and go over the deck real quick. It's based around this card right here, Ho-Oh EX. HP does not really matter. Type, attack, none of that really matters. Main thing that matters in this card is the ability Rebirth. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you may flip a coin. And if heads, you put this Pokemon onto your bench and attach 3 different types of basic energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So essentially, you combine that card with Energy Switch, running the full play set, and it's like a type of energy acceleration, essentially. You have maybe 2 Pokemon and a couple energy in play, and then you flip heads on a Ho-Oh, and next thing you know, boom, 3 energy in play. And if you have an Energy Switch or 2 in your hand, then that is certainly acceleration. Another card that's actually really interesting to note in this deck, I only play one of it, but it is a supporter, Ninja Boy. Choose one of your basic Pokemon in place, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, and switch it with that Pokemon. Any attached cards, damage counter, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. Shuffle the first Pokemon into your deck. So, essentially, you have a Ho-Oh EX with a metal, a water, and sure, a fighting in your deck. Flip heads on it, get it on the bench, play a Ninja Boy, and bring out an Arceus Dialga Palkia GX. Ninja Boy's very interesting like that. You could also do the same with Psychic and Fighting and bring out Garchomp and Giratina. All sorts of things. You could even just load 3 energy on it and throw a freaking double V out there for, it's better than a Ho-Oh EX. So, another very good card to note real quick is a Battle Compressor. This is just generally something that is nice to have in the early game. You could get Ho-Oh EXs and energy cards in your discard pile to start fueling that strategy. And it also pairs well with Ninja Boy because you throw Ho-Oh EX back in the deck and you never really care to draw that card unless if you want to discard it with something like Quick Ball or Ultra Ball. So that's a lot of the main core of the deck. So we should go ahead and I would like to go ahead and go over all the cards individually, for the most part anyway. Here, we'll start with Pokemon here. Crowbat V is a very interesting Pokemon. In these types of decks that have many different types of basic energies, I always love to play colorless Pokemon because, you just put any type of energy on them. And so any type of energy switch or any type of scenario where Ho-Oh comes on the bench with some extra energy is just good for these colorless Pokemon. Crowbat V is really interesting. Beak Catch is a very good setup attack. If you start with a Crowbat V, you're pretty happy with that because you can, turn 1 Beak Catch as long as you don't go first, or even turn 2 Beak Catch, whatever the case is. It's always a good setup card. Spit Shot's actually not bad in this deck either because you discard all the energy from the Pokemon, which can potentially fuel another Ho-Oh EX to come back and accelerate that energy again. And Spit Shot's just a good attack anyway. So I do like this card a lot. However, my favorite card in the deck actually is the 2 Double V. The ability is always fun. I always love these types of abilities. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. Combine that with some tools that we'll look at later, and Double V becomes an absolute hoss. And the attack Revenge Blast is incredible as well for 3 colorless energy. It deals 120 at base, but deals 30 more for each prize card your opponent's taken. So average in the mid game, average in the early game. Pretty good in the mid game, and obviously excellent in the late game. So Double V is a very versatile card. Really like that card. Another card we play is Crowbat V. Only reason I really play this card is simply due to the fact that that ability is so powerful. Having extra draw in your deck is always going to be a powerful thing. Dark type coverage is interesting. I'm not really sure the target's an expanded that it can hit very well, but it is nice to have it. Venomous Fang is not a bad attack. For 2 energy, 70 damage, poison your opponent, not a bad attack, especially for that ability as well. So Crowbat V is a natural fit. We have 2 Arceus Dialga Palkia GX because this card is so incredibly powerful. For those that don't know it, I guess I'll go ahead and go over it. 280 HP, of course, insane for basic, but of course opponent takes 3 prize cards from knocking it out. Certainly relevant. Ultimate Ray is an interesting attack. Water, metal, colorless, 150. That's very powerful. Pretty powerful anyway for modern day standards. But search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. Not particularly relevant in this deck, but a very nice effect to have, especially when you want to start thinning the deck of energy, and it's just always great to have that extra energy acceleration. Altered Creation GX is just the GX attack to use in this deck. You have a few other options, but this is the main ones you want to do. For the rest of the game, your Pokemon's attacks deal 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, and if it has at least 1 extra Water Genie attached to it, which it will in order to use Ultimate Ray, When your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from those attacks, take one more prize card. So just unreal. You use that Altered Creation, and it just gives you a massive benefit for the rest of the game. Taking an extra prize card for knocking things out is unreal. You know, taking 4 prizes for knocking out a VMAX or a tag team, like, come on, that's insane. So Arceus Dialga-Palkia is a pretty natural fit in here. I very much enjoy Garchomp and Giratina GX. This is one of the cards I'm just kind of playing around with. It's a relatively powerful card, but you know, cards like this, cards like Cramorant V, Landorus EX, which we'll get to, they're just cards that I'm just trying out. You know, Ho-Oh EX is such a vast deck idea. You can really fit anything you want into this type of deck. That's why I really wanted to go over those main core cards at first, because once you have those core cards, you can build this deck in any way that you desire, and that's a major reason why I love this deck so much. Garchomp and Giratina GX is a good Pokemon. And actually, another thing quickly to note of having these massive dragon Pokemon, their weakness is Fairy. And Fairy has actually been discontinued, as far as I'm aware, in the card game. Like in the new sets that they release, any Fairy-type Pokemon are now released as Psychic. So that's actually still relevant, because in Expanded you can still play Fairy Pokemon. It is still a thing. So the reason why it's relevant, though, is because now no new cards that come out that would normally have the Fairy-type are going to really affect these guys very much. You know, like let's say they just release a very insane Gardevoir V or something like that. It won't be a Fairy type. It will be a Psychic type. So there's not very much really that my massive GX dragons have to worry about for weakness. So I find that very cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and go over this card real quick. Linear attack is 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for a color's energy. Pretty decent. Actually pairs very well with the next attack for a Psychic Fighting in a colors. Deals 160 at base, but if your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, deals 80 more damage. Pretty powerful. Pretty excellent to try to pick off those VMAXs and things like that. GG End GX. I don't think I've ever used this GX attack, but it is here. Psychic Fighting. Discard one of your opponent's Pokemon and all cards attached to it. This Pokemon has at least 3 extra fighting energy attached to it. Discard 2 of your Pokemon's, your opponent's Pokemon instead. I don't have 4 fighting energy in the deck, so that second half's really irrelevant, and I would typically prefer to just use Altered Creation. The only reason I'll use GG End is if it is the GG End. You know, if they've only got 1 Pokemon in play, and then I can just GG End and then win. Or if it puts them in an incredibly disadvantageous position, then I'll use it. But I don't think I've ever really used the attack. I mainly focus on Altered Creation. This next card is another one I'm kind of playing around with. I do think it's pretty powerful in certain circumstances. The ability, Bright Down, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon with abilities. So I can't think of any major examples at the moment, but that is certainly a powerful ability, especially on a big basic like this. Barrier Break is okay. It's Fire, Psychic, Colorless for 70 damage, and this attack's damage isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any other effects on the defending Pokemon. So for the most part, this card is not ultra relevant, but if I am playing against a deck that just has these massive VMAXs, GXs that have abilities, then I'll just throw Latias EX out there and just, win. I mean, especially if that's their main attacker, then that is a trump card right there for that. So I do like Latias EX a lot. It hasn't come up a whole lot, but I am interested to see when it'll come up and how powerful it'll be. Landorus EX is a classic. I just decided to throw it back in here because it is a classic card. It's not particularly powerful. It's another one I'm just playing around with. Hammerhead is 1 fighting energy. You deal 30 to the active, and you also deal 30 to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Pretty nice against evolution decks. Just start picking off their little basic, like, Tynamos or Inkays for the Malamar decks, things like that. 180 HP fighting Pokemon. Land's Judgment is fighting, colorless for 80 damage, and you may discard all fighting energy attached to this Pokemon. If you do, it deals 70 more damage. Pretty mediocre attack, all things considered. I mean, discarding fighting energy is okay in this deck because you can still get it back with Ho-Oh, but it's really not something that you want to do. The fact that you have to discard all fighting energy is pretty rough. Then you have to find a way to Hammerhead next turn, and then it just becomes kind of a sitting duck. So Land's Judgment's not really what I want to use for like a massive attack unless I'm facing a dark type deck. But in that instance, if I'm facing a dark type deck, I will just use Sandaconda V. 220 HP fighting Pokemon. Wall of Sand is the same thing as my double V. Takes 30 less damage from attacks. Land Crush is fighting colors for 140. So another very powerful Pokemon in that instance. And yeah, not really sure how long Landorus will be in the deck, but I really enjoy Landorus right now. So I'm keeping it in there for now. We do have 3 Ho-Oh EX. 4 is a bit too much. 2 sometimes feels like a little bit too little, although I was playing with 2 for a long time. And 2's fine. I think 2's acceptable. I just am trying 3 because whenever you run 2 and then 1 is prized, it is a big deal. I mean, having multiple hoes in the discard for multiple rebirths is important since it is a coin flip. You want as many odds in your favor as possible. Now, Jirachi Prime Star is or Prism Star. It's a weird card. I like it because I'm not playing any other. Is it Prism Star? I think it's Prism Star. I'm not playing any other Prism Star cards in this deck, so it's interesting to throw Jirachi in here. Ability, Wish Upon a Star. If you took this Pokemon as a face-down prize card during your turn, your bench isn't full. Before you put it into your hand, you may put it on your bench and take one more prize card. Just a really interesting thing, you know, if it's my second to last prize and then just win. Funny thing, and Parrot Dream is not an awful attack. For 3 colorless, deals 10 damage, but this Pokemon's now asleep, and at the end of your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon will be knocked out. Plenty of situations in this game where you have an active Pokemon that's just stuck. If you don't draw a switch, it doesn't have the energy to retreat, can't retreat. So decent, you know, whatever. It's a Prism Star card. It's interesting. Mew Mewtwo GX. You don't really ever use Miraculous Duo GX. It is a good attack. It certainly is. But Perfection is mainly what I have it in here for. I do run some Vs, so there is some dis-synergy, or however you would say that word. There's definitely a lack of synergy with the Vs that are in this deck. But for all the GXs and EXs, it's actually pretty good. Having a Mew and Mewtwo to be able to use, you know, Ultimate Ray is very powerful. Even being able to use Hammerhead is interesting for sure. You know, just it's interesting, and it is a powerful card at the end of the day. So yeah, and Miraculous Duo is not a bad attack either, so that is definitely a powerful card. Tapu Lele GX will round out the Pokemon for this deck. Has the Wonder Tag ability. Whenever you put this Pokemon onto your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, put it in your hand. That is the biggest reason why it's in here. It's another support Pokemon like Crowbat V. Energy Drive is not a bad attack either. I just wish that it was affected by weakness or resistance, but it is what it is. Energy Drive is still a decent attack. Tapu Cure GX is another attack to look out for because you never know when that can be ultra powerful, healing up your Arceus and Dialga and your Dubwool or something like that. So that'll round out the Pokemon. A lot of that is just my personal choice, and I very much enjoy the lineup for now, but it definitely has a lot of room to work on. So we'll quickly go over the items. We already went over Battle Compressor and Energy Switch. Professor's Letter is just a real quick search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, put in your hand. Just a powerful effect. Quick Ball, we have all basic Pokemon in this deck, and it is an outlet to discard energy cards and Ho-Oh EXs, so Quick Ball is a natural fit. We have 2 of those. We have 3 switches. I actually really want to play 4, but it's very hard to fit everything that you want in this deck, so 3 for now will work. Just switching is just always a very powerful effect, and other than Sky Arrow Bridge to help the retreat cost of my basic Pokemon decrease, you know, I don't have any way really to start or to move Pokemon, so I would like to play a 4th. We'll see if I can fit a 4th. Ultra Ball, I only play 1. Discard 2 cards in your hand. Another way to discard Ho-Oh and energy cards. Then you just search your deck for any Pokemon put in your hand. The fact that it discards 2 is the reason why I put an Ultra Ball instead of a 3rd Quick Ball in here. There are going to be times where you don't want to discard 2, of course. There's even going to be times with Quick Ball that you don't want to discard 1. But being able to, like, in the same turn, go Ultra Ball, discard Ho-Oh, and a Psychic is you know, it's powerful. I like it. 2 VS Seeker, need multiple ways to draw cards, and I only play, you know, like the one of Lysander, the one of Ninja Boys, so VS Seeker is a powerful card to be able to get, or to have those reoccurring effects. We went over Sky Arrow Bridge, so Supporter line's real simple. We got 1 Colress, shuffle your hand into your deck, and then draw a number of cards equal to the number of benched Pokemon. Draw Supporter. We have 4 Cynthia. I've actually found that I like Cynthia better than Juniper in this deck, despite you know, discarding cards being a thing that you want to do in this deck. There's just too many times where I'll have a Juniper and an energy switch and, you know, just another important supporter or something like that, and I don't want to discard those resources. You know, there's very specific things you want to discard in this deck. So we do have the one of Lysander, one of the most powerful effects I think to ever hit this game. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. Very powerful. Whenever Ninja Boy earlier, we got 1 of those, and we do only have 2 Juniper instead of the full plate set that people are used to playing. I think 2's fine for this deck. You know, even 3 and 4. You know, at whatever number that you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with 2 because I have other methods of discarding cards, and I don't like discarding important cards, it's particularly the energy switch and the switch. Those are incredibly valuable cards in this deck. 1 of Skyla, search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, put it in your hand. Pretty solid effect. Fighting Furia Belt is a tool. It says the basic Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 40 HP and deals 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Just an extra buff for all of the basic Pokemon we have in this deck. My ace spec choice is Rock Guard. Now that is not because Rock Guard is a great card. If I had Computer Search or Dowsing Machine, those would be my picks over it. I don't have those in this program, so I rock with Rock Guard. And you know what? Rock Guard's actually an underrated card. I think this card's very powerful. If this Pokemon this card is attached to is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an opponent's attack, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Extra damage out of nowhere. You put this on something like a Double V, so then it's just great. I mean, like, Double takes 30 less damage and deals 60 damage to the opponent. Rock Guard is just it's a versatile card. You can put it on anything, and it becomes a threat because it's like if you want to attack it, you're taking that 60 damage. Underrated card. So we'll go over the energy. It's just 3 double colorless instead of the full 4. And then we have 1 darkness, 3 fighting, 1 fire, 2 metal, 2 psychic, 2 water. Want to make sure we have the energy count to be able to actually use all of our attacks. Double colorless is not as important in this deck as it was in previous Ho-Oh iterations, especially from years past. As you can see, I do have multiple cards that require specific energy costs, like the Fire Psychic here, the double fighting on both of my fighting Pokemon, actually. Potentially double Psychic there, but like a Psychic fighting here, a Water Metal here. We have specific energy costs, so cutting a double colorless is fine, even though a full playset is also great. So that is this deck. This deck tech took a lot longer than I expected, so I think we're going to play a game or two and, you know, show you how the deck works. So here we go. Alright, got ourselves into a game here. Let's see. And yeah, the choice to go first is actually interesting with this deck. Most of the time I don't really care, but you see now, I like to play my supporters my first turn, and I do like to attack my first turn, especially with something like Landorus or something like Cramorant, so I'm actually going to choose to let them go first. It's typically what I choose with the Ho-Oh deck here, given the new rules, so. Well, I guess they're not too new anymore, but yeah. So we do actually mulligan. I don't really mulligan very frequently with this deck. All my Pokemon are basic, so it's a rare occurrence. Okay, interesting. My favorite starter here is Double, and the rest of our hand is garbage, so we're going to see what we can do here. Got a couple Gengar V, or what was that? Oh, that was a Crowbat V. That is a mistake putting that down. That's okay. Hiding energy is no retreat cost. Okay. Now sleeve gets 30 damage on this. Okay. We got a quick ball. Houndour. That Houndour's actually very good for the single strikes. This is not a single strike, so we're good there. Okay. Double Fighting Fury Belt. Okay. I think we're just gonna do this and pass. I am interested to see more of my opponent's deck. I also do want to try to draw more resources before I do commit that Arceus Dialga-Palkia. Get as many draw steps as possible. See what kind of energy we are gonna draw for Double. If I have to attach that metal to Double, or if I can attach it to the ADP. So, what is this? A capture? Okay. Another Crowbat V. From your hand. Yep. Single strike. What was that? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so what is this? Sun's sides. Okay, interesting. Okay, so it looks like we flipped heads too. So now, see, now that I drew the water, I feel like I'm interested in just benching this, attaching this, and passing. So then what I'll do next turn, I will lay down the Sky Arrow Bridge, I will retreat with Double, and then attach the water, and then go ahead and use Altered Creation, and then hope for an energy, or hope for a supporter, or something. Right now our hand is pretty dead, and I would actually, I don't quite welcome an In or a Marnie yet. I would actually rather wait than do that until the next turn, if I don't draw anything. Despite this being a 3-card hand, I at least have a plan, and being able to use Altered Creation is always relevant, especially this early in the game. Oh, yeah, you know, if they do make me fall asleep, actually, that's actually a problem, if I flip tails. Interesting. Yeah, I actually really want them to attach another energy and just Pain Explosion. I think that would actually benefit me here. As they get a Gengar V Max. Okay, another Houndour. Okay. Okay, but they do have it. Okay, interesting. 60 damage for each of your opponents. Oh, wow. 120 damage. Okay, interesting. And they are going to knock out the Double V, actually, so it's pretty relevant. It's powerful. And I'm not... Oh, interesting, so they chose to use Fear and Panic. Okay. Definitely expected the G-Max swallow up. Okay. Trying the third Fighting Fury belt. That is hilarious. Okay. But now, I think this is still... This is a risky play. I have to draw something. I mean, that's just the problem here. If I have to draw a Cynthia or a Juniper or something here. Or an Energy, actually. An Energy would be nice here, like an Ultimate Raid, but it's just... Yeah, the G-Max swallow up is very powerful. Okay, they did another Energy for some reason. Oh, they did another one of those too. Okay, alright, and Tapu Lele. Okay, so that means Fear and Panic is still going to be very powerful. 10, that is nice. What do we have? 10 HP? That is hilarious. Okay. Now, depending on what we draw here, you know, Tapu Lele GX could prove to be relevant. Let's see. I do want to go ahead and get a Juniper. Let's see, what do we have? What do I need? Use Psychic Energy. We have the one. Did I put the other? No. Okay, so one Psychic Energy surprised. Do have one Energy Switch prizes. Yeah, Tapu. Well, I've already used my GX attack, so that is not as relevant as I thought it was, but that's okay. So I haven't taken any prizes, so we're gonna do this just because we kind of have to, otherwise it gets wasted. Okay. I'll do a Battle Compressor. Go ahead and throw a Ho-Oh, and then what do I have? A Fighting. So we'll go... Maybe just Metal Water? Oh, one of the metals is prized. Okay. Well, that's a bit more relevant. We'll do Psych. No, we already have a Fighting. Just do the Darkness, that's fine. Okay. Do you have the energy for Ultimate Ray? That is helpful. They're committing a lot of energy to this, and they are going to take 3 prizes, but then I'll be able to take a 3 prize swing back. It's nice. I think I will attach this. Crowbat V might get benched here. I don't want to fill my bench too much though. Crowbat V not particularly relevant. I think I'm just gonna Ultimate Ray. Hello. And we only have the 3 left, so that's fine. I think we're just gonna put them all on Tapu Lele. Get ready for an energy draft to knock out this Gengar VMAX. We are getting knocked out in return here, but surviving with 10 HP is hilarious. I do like that. I don't want my double to be vulnerable. How much HP has it got? 90? Okay, well, that's pretty good. Let's see what they do. Oh, interesting. Did they... Let's switch and I just didn't notice. Wait, what? Didn't discard any energy to treat. I didn't play... I don't know how that happened. Maybe just me messing around looking at the cards kind of made me miss that. That's alright though. Okay, yeah, but no Sphinx. Good there, so. Alright, well. Now we're in a pretty precarious situation. Top decking a Lysander would be pretty awesome. Don't know if that's what's gonna happen. Let's see. Maybe we should get the Latias. We want to bench that. We want to bench this. And Andrew might get benched too. Why not? Yeah. I'm expecting a knockout here pretty soon, so I don't mind filling up my bench right now for Dark Asset. Okay. Interesting here. Okay, let's do a Battle Compressor. Just to thin it. Now at this point, now that we don't have Ho-Ohs or basic energies to do, now we're just going to look for cards that are irrelevant and put them in the discard. Gives us a better likelihood of drawing what we need, and this Colress might help us out here. Cause what? It's interesting here. I'm not ultra sure what I'm looking for, but I do want the Lysander. Quick Balls find a discard. Jirachi's find a discard. probably RCS the Occupy effect as well. Let's do that. Oh, and the Professor's Letter actually is, yeah, here, let's do that instead. Okay. Battle Compressor does its thing, thins out the deck. How many cards we got? 19. Use Ultra Ball now, which can prove... I don't really want to draw the Ultra Ball, that's the problem. And Sandaconda V is a little irrelevant too at this point. So I get that means sacrificing Mew and Mewtwo, and I think that's fine. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. So now the question is, do I want to go ahead and attach this energy? 24, 60, yeah, I mean... Are we weak? No, we're not weak to anything. We're fine. We'll throw it on the Cramorant, and then we'll call Rose. Okay. So a switch is... Okay, well we can still retreat, actually, so this is fine. I believe I want to Spit Shot and get rid of that. I think that is what we're going to do. So, we're going to go ahead and retreat into Crowbat V. I would like to play the energy switch. We'll go water onto Cramorant. And that's quite literally all we can do. So we're going to Spit Shot and kill the Gengar VMAX, get our 3 prizes like we wanted to. Let's see. Got a VS Seeker. Lysander's still in the deck. Ninja Boy is interesting, actually. And Metal Energy. Okay. So Ninja Boy, we can potentially go ahead and get rid of our Tapu Lele, which can help. I think we do have a double in the deck, so just replace it with a double and be happy. Okay. Whatever they want to do here. Oh, interesting. They don't have any more single strike energy. All right. All they can do is Venomous Fang, so this is looking pretty great for us. We can still retreat. All right. So things looking good here. So, got a lot of cards in our hand, got a lot of options. What do we want to do? We do need to start powering up another attacker. We do know this. Latios would not be a bad idea here. Just need more. I just need more. Matter of fact, you know what? I have made a mistake filling up my bench, and that is something that you should be very careful of in this deck. So, I can do another Spit Shot. 40, 60, 80, 120. Okay. It's actually a little tough. I think we are just going to Ninja Boy. Go ahead and throw Tapu Lele back in. This will actually help out. Yeah, this will be a lot easier. So, we'll do that. Do this. Treat into double. Yeah, I might as well go and energy switch the fire off onto a lot. Or maybe I should have done the fighting to Landorus. Who knows? A little tough there. So, we're going to Revenge Blast, and we do have a Lysander in our hand for a potential victory. And I think that's what we were going to obtain. Oh, that's right! The Altered Creation won the game! Incredible, I totally forgot about that. Wow. Well, there you go. So Altered Creation just won us the game for there. Which I'm interested why we didn't take 4 prizes off of the VMAX then. Oh, because it wasn't active. Okay, interesting. Well, awesome. Okay, I enjoyed that game a lot. I'm debating on playing another one here. I think this will probably do it for this video. That was definitely a decent show of the deck and showed a lot of what it can do and certainly things what to do, what not to do. I do plan on working on this deck a lot. And I do actually have this. We take a little sneak peek. This is another Ho-Oh deck with evolutions because I did run into a card that was like preventing damage from basic Pokemon. So, you know, I threw in a few evolutions. We're just trying out different cards in here too, like the Shuckle, the Eevee, and the Snorlax, just random cards like that. I think actually in this deck, let's see, do I play the full... No, I only played 2 double colorless? That's a mistake. So yeah, this deck definitely needs some tuning. But yeah, so Ho-Oh's very interesting. I think Expanded's a lot of fun. I am looking to get into Standard too because it's competitive play. So, thank you all for watching. Look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Awkward outro, all the business. Y'all stay safe. Later.